Hey there, it's Robin. Today I want to help you with surrendering or letting go of fear. This has been one that just plagues a lot of people. I mean, there's so much to be seen in the world of fear in the internet or TV or talking to people that it's really hard to not take that on, to feel like I need to be afraid because if I'm not afraid, then something bad's going to happen. And you just recycle the fear all the time, but they're really stories you're telling in your head. So let's say you always live this story of fear where you're like, I know this is going to happen. I'm afraid it's going to happen. I'm going to make sure it doesn't happen. And most of the time it doesn't happen, but you stressed yourself with all that worry and fear that in your head, the story you created programmed your body to think, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. And you have to come into your space and say, no, I'm not going to own fear around this. Fear will get me nowhere. No, I'm not talking about like if you went hiking in the woods and you saw a bear, that you should be afraid of. Yes, this is typical normal things you should be afraid of. I'm talking about fear that controls your life and your everyday living when there's nothing really there for you to be afraid of. And that's where it gets difficult because we program ourselves and these stories that are not even going to come true for the most part. So, how can you let go of fear? You have to take a minute and really say, is there anything in this situation that I really, truly need to be afraid of? And if your answer is yes, then let's honor that and say, how can we make it so that we're in a situation that doesn't have this in it, right? If your body says no, I've did this so many times and never had anything bad happen. I've been in this situation and it's really just my stories of thinking something bad's going to happen. Then let's ask ourselves, why do we have this fear to begin with? Like, why is it in place? Why did our ego put it there to protect us? What is the real core source that this comes from? And that's the space where go inside and ask yourself, where did the core of this come from? Even in recording this video, I'm struggling, and you might be picking up on that because fear is such a big topic when you've dealt with anxiety and panic attacks and, wondering when the world's going to end and thinking about the apocalypse and, all this silly craziness. Although it's not silly, I want to honor it because it's not silly because there's a lot of that going around and I'm feeling the energy of it. But I don't want myself to get so attached to it that energy controls me. And that's the thing about fear. It will control you until you don't let it control you. So by saying, I'm not going to let fear control me. And then I come into prayer. I did this morning. I woke up, really bad dream, really scared. And I started praying. And I just was casting out energies that didn't serve me. I was praying over my property, praying over my house, praying over my family in my house, praying over my animals. And just alleviating it and saying, no, it stops here. You don't get to control me. And I felt such peace afterwards. And you have to almost take fear and look it in the face and say, you don't control me. You have to make that stand because if you don't, it will control your life. And sometimes I take that stance and other times I say, I'm afraid I need to show myself some love. And I come into a space and I say, okay, Robin, I love you. You're safe. And that helps. And you just have to gauge it for what you need to do. But don't let it be so intense that you can't live your life. I know that I'll probably share this video even on my other social medias because I deal with this so much. If you want to share this with people that struggle with fear, please do. And, this is a great space for all of us to understand that we're together, And if you're like, yeah, I really just want to let go of this. Let go of it. Don't let it control your life. All right, dear, I'm sending you guys so much love, and we'll chat soon.